Hi, I'm Kevin Drinkall.
Hi, and I'm Michel Nicolai, and we welcome you to Zyzone Networks podcast.
We've been in the network industry for over 15 years, and in these podcasts we want to try and untangle the world of networking, debunk some of those myths, explain some real-world examples along the way, to help you make better choices about selecting the right tech, product, and even help you guys build faster, more reliable, scalable networks, or just to keep your kids happy at home.
Well, welcome back for another podcast, and in today's podcast we're going to talk about AI. Such a buzz.
Yeah, and the topic is specifically AI in our cloud platform Nebula. But I think before we start and digging into this, maybe it's good that we talk a little bit about AI and what is it and how we got to this.
Yeah, I think if we step back a little bit, is understanding the AI term, right? I think, nowadays AI's kind of had everything lumped into it. So we got machine learning, we've got the AI itself, we've got deep AI, there's all sorts of different categories. And, if you're really into, the cognitive stuff and et cetera, there's loads of different terms, there's lots of subsets of AI. For our platform, I would say that we are dealing majority of the time with machine learning technologies. So machine learning can have the machine learning component and then AI making some kind of decision based on some logic that it comes across, right? And this is really where AI in Nebula comes. The other element is where you can interact with it in human context and it give you feedback and information about what's going on, right?
Yeah, but I think the thing that made AI possible is the huge development that we see in processing power. Yeah, you see a lot of manufacturers on chips. They do a huge investment to make their chips faster and faster. At this time, the chips that we produce can calculate so many things so fast that a human cannot calculate themselves in a very short time. So now a computer can make decisions much faster than we think as a human. So therefore, what we do is we get a lot of information all together, and then we give this information to the AI. And that AI that can do checking, the filtering, and answer the question that we have based on that information that we bring in. And on that technology, we have a lot of features in our Nebula system that leverage from it. So they learn from what we put in and give you a quick result in things that you're looking for.
Without the cloud behind it and the data analytics, it wouldn't be able to analyze anything. So Nebula and the cloud platform is a major part of the process. Without having the cloud platform infrastructure behind it, there is no way to analyze all that data from individual devices independently very easily. So the cloud platform predominantly designed for speed, efficiency, delivering all of this kind of stuff from the beginning, right? And all managing that whole process of, giving the information to you directly. It's not possible without using AI, right? And the cloud platform itself. So this is a vital part of it, and that brings everything together. But what does AI really do to you or for you as a user is probably the predominant question, right? How does it do that? And what is it really going to benefit me, or is it just a big gimmick, right? That's the real question. When you really knuckle down to everything that AI and machine learning really gives you, it's all about time saving, about giving you the time and efficient at getting to the results.
Faster, getting all the information and getting into a result. And with that result, you can make a quick decision. It's like that you are looking on a big table with all numbers and you're looking for a few numbers in that table, but there are so many, it takes ages to figure out what you're looking for. With AI, we can say, look for this and this and this, and then instantly it will tell you where it is.
Long term, the Nebula platform will evolve to do more and more around this. So I think in the end, AI is a very big broad spectrum of information out there about AI. What does it do for me? How am I going to benefit from it? And I think if we talk about some of the tools in Nebula, maybe that will give you a better understanding about what it will do for you.
Yeah. Easiest and most simple example that we can give you is the feature that we call intent, where you as an administrator are looking for a specific setting that you want to change or a specific configuration. But yeah, if you are quite new to the system, then probably you don't know where you can make that change or where it sits in the configuration. Then you can just type in what you're looking for or what you like to configure, and instantly the Nebula intent will give you the answer where to find and how to configure. So it's very easy of use, and it saves you time because you don't have to go through all the menus to see where the option is.
Yeah, intent has been designed as an interaction, so you can type into it. It supports, I think, something like 40 languages it can support.
Yeah, it only replies in English, but you can ask them anything, and it will give you a straight answer.
But obviously, intent design is at the minute it will give you information about where to find it. But over time, we will add functionality into intent to actually assist you in the configuration process itself. So the long term plan for intent is to grow that functionality so that you can interact with intent itself inside Nebula and then ask it to set, configure, and even give you the results of information in the platform. It's already quite a powerful tool. It will save you a great deal of time in getting your answers, and obviously over time intent will improve even more to actually assist you in the deployment, the maintenance and configuration, right?
I think the intent is a specific good feature for the Nebula Control Center, how we call it, for navigating into the control center. But we can also use the AI, the strength of the AI, in the certain technologies that we use to manage our configuration. For instance, on the Wi-Fi part.
Oh, for sure. Wi-Fi is probably the strongest, and I would say it's often more complicated for Wi-Fi, right? So in everybody's environment, this is probably the most challenging of technologies to really understand what's going on. And we can use AI to analyze the data in real time between access points in a centralized place to give information to you and even understand what's going on against the client, which without AI, you wouldn't be able to troll through all those thousands of lines of logs to understand what's going on to find out, right? So,
yeah, but for people that have been using Nebula in the past or quite recently, you can see how much information you can see in the logs. You can see who connected, when, for what speed, on which signal strength, when did he connect, when did she leave. And that is a lot of information, not only from maybe one IP or one user. No, it is collecting from all access points, from all users, from all devices that are connecting into this wireless environment. So you can imagine that this table of information is huge. So what we can do, and therefore we use AI to use this huge pile of information with all those numbers in, we can dig into this and we can help you to resolve issues.
So, I mean, what does that really mean to you as a user? I mean, there's two, I would say, distinct tools that leverage AI in Nebula. So the first one is Wi-Fi Health. Okay, so Wi-Fi Health is a very interesting one because this analyzes every single access point, every single connected device. And what it does is it looks for what the experience is, but also from the client side to see how it's retrying what it experiences in terms of signal, how it's retrying against the AP, analyzes all that information and then displays it in a format where you can see over time where you may see problems in Wi-Fi connectivity. It could be capacity, could be devices on the edge of the wireless coverage, and then you can actually see the performance and where the areas that you may need to pay attention to. It can make judgment calls by itself where it sees client device connected and it's having problems. It can automatically try to move it to another access point. It can narrow the beam, or the channel width, where it takes it from 40 to 20 megahertz to try and improve away from any interference that may occur on the access point itself. So it can make judgment calls by itself, right? And I think this is a very clever tool. The other thing that you can get from this is you can get a very good overview of your experience across time, where you might see problematic devices or problematic areas where you might need to improve by adding another access point because you don't have the capacity, or improve because you don't have the coverage as well. So very, very cool tool that uses AI and trolls through those thousands and thousands of lines of logs and information it gathers about each client.
Yeah. It's all about narrowing down where the issue comes from. Yeah, so let's say you have a deployment of over 50 access points. If you can easily figure out that of those 50 APs, 48 are never having a problem, then you know that you can concentrate on those two that you see some issues on. So then you are immediately narrowing down immediately to what's going wrong. And if you then also can take the client in perspective, then maybe you can narrow down even closer. So instead of figuring it out, all by yourself, looking for the problem, this helps you to be much quicker on resolving the issue.
When we come to also looking at some of the basics as well, right? I mean, we also have another feature which I mentioned at the beginning there, Wi-Fi Aid, right? Which is one of the other tool. And within Wi-Fi, this is more about understanding the client issue, right? So lots of client devices connect to Wi-Fi, but they don't necessarily have a Wi-Fi issue. It could be another part of the network, right? So in conjunction with switching, the security gateway, and the device and the access point, uses all that information to collate whether or not there's actually a potential issue with the client. So, for example, when a client connects, it might not get DNS correct, or it might not be issued DHCP, or it might not be able to see the internet for, I don't know, maybe misconfiguration of VLAN, or it's not got into the right port, or, something like this, it kind of trigger. But that's not a Wi-Fi issue. It's connected by Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi Aid basically trolls through all that information, collates it, and then identifies which clients have potential issues where they don't have DHCP. They haven't been given an IP address on the network, but they are connected.
But imagine, that you need to find such a problem when you have to go through all the logs one by one to see if you see something weird in there. And now you can provide all that information to the AI, in this case, the Wi-Fi 8 AI, and he can check out, okay, what do we see a pattern in there? Do we see that user always have the same issue? And it will collect that information over a longer period of time. And that's what the AI is doing, in fact.
So, I mean, that's Wi-Fi, right? But obviously there's other components of the network. So in terms of switching, we have some functionality in switching that can help predominantly machine learning elements, but they also help and assist in like broadcasting networks.
Yeah, more in IGMP and multicast configurations. Yes, correct.
So in this element, this can also help us, correct miscommunication in the switching, understand broadcasting, and limit the damage to a network by looking at how that is, even correcting some of the information, like a bit more technical, right? But by RIP version 2 and 3, if a TV, for example, misbroadcasts, which it does happen in larger IGMP networks, right? We can actually correct that, and so that the TV doesn't experience the glitchiness in the TV channel changing where it broadcasts over and over again, right? We've seen this in larger TV deployments, AV over IP deployments as well, right?
Yeah, and based on that, we can set a filtering rule, for instance, that this specific signal or whatever be blocked so that your other transmissions that you have in the network are as clean as possible. Yeah, that is why we have this intelligence in our system.
So I think, obviously there's a lot in security as well. And I think before we dive deep into the security fully, we do have components in the network or in Nebula itself, where products working together in conjunction to actually contain threats, right? So, for example, we use AI to understand where we have a threat on the security box and where the threat came from, and then notify the access point to contain the actual threat. So we have a function called CDR, which is the access point to actually contain a device that poses a threat to the network away from the network automatically, using these kind of features and functions. So we not only allow just individual devices to leverage the AI, and just like the Wi-Fi aid, where we're looking at all the components of the network to analyze what's going on and then give you the detail in front of it, we can also trigger protecting a network from the edge. Many customers now are using Wi-Fi first approach, where they're using Wi-Fi as the first line of connectivity. People aren't connecting directly to the LAN like they used to, where they're hardwired, right? So on the edge of the network, we need to add protection, right? And this is one element of it. We also have other functions like connect and protect, which also add security at the edge of the network, where it can do like ransomware protection as a very basic level on the actual edge of the network on the AP as well. So there are components of the AI functionality that's actually enabling the devices to work together in conjunction to do defense in the network.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the security itself.
Yeah, let's think about our zero-day protection that we have, because you know that on our firewalls, we protect our network always signature based. But how about the known threats, or I have to say the unknown threats? So the things that are deployed yesterday and we are affected today. There is no signature file for this. So how do we protect ourselves against this? And for this kind of solution, we have our sandboxing in there. And that's also a part of AI, because we collect the information from the file that we think is malicious. We bring this to our AI system to, let's say, to contain and to emulate and to check if the file is malicious or not. And based on that, it will provide a result back to the user. And he can do it very fast because of the AI. Yeah, there's a lot of resources available. It doesn't take days or whatever to give you a result. No, it's up a few minutes and then the result is there. And that's all related to the AI that we have in the sandboxing.
Yeah, so the process is when it identifies a brand new potential threat, it sends it off for analysis, like you say, into our security cloud. Basically, it goes through the process and then, checks whether it's real or not. The other benefit of doing that is if it does find a threat, immediately it updates all of the other firewalls in our platform, right? So basically all other Zyzel, like USG Flex H's, for example, they all benefit from, a single user finding a zero threat and immediately dispersing that across all of the network to tackle zero-day threats, right? The other advantage of doing that is also, over time, the security cloud, each day it analyzes the top threats, not just from our signatures and etc., but from our cloud platform that's also in touch with other vendors, security cloud vendors, for example, and also brings that information back in, works out the signatures that's required directly on the box, and then creates a signature based on that, and then pushes that directly to the device. So uses AI and machine learning to understand which are the most valid threats that it will need to offload and which it will need immediate response to on the device itself. And then it enables that. And it uses all those multi-level security layers basically to approach different technologies. So, we have content filtering, application control, IDP, ADP, sandboxing, and many others in there to create this whole cybersecurity functionality. And this enables, the AI tools in there to respond to threats and evolve around our customers, so they don't need to evolve. The platform will do it for you and keep things up to date. Especially in the small to medium business space, a lot of people don't have the dedicated resources like a larger organization for threat analysis, for a team of cybersecurity experts, right? So this will enable smaller businesses, for example, to deliver these types of services that will protect them against this type of threat as well.
Yeah, and I think another AI that we use in the security is like Kevin mentioned, that our firewall is collecting all kinds of information from the different appliances, like the IDP, the antivirus, the IDP, and all that information is stored in our secure reporter. Because obviously, as a user, you would like to see how your security has been developing in the last hour or in the last day or in the last week, to see how your firewall is protecting your data from the internet. And let's say you want to do some analysis on this data, and you could imagine that the number of results that we collect is quite a lot. We can use the Seku Pilot engine, that's how it's called, to ask about giving a result based on the data that's collected in the Seku reporter. So that is also another AI that we use, where we collect a lot of information, where we provide a quick answer to your question that you might have related to the security.
That's right. I mean, Secure Pilot is basically, it allows you to deliver real-time insights, gives you chart analysis, summaries, and also it supports it in your language. So I think it supports 40 languages. So it will also generate a report in a language base, right? So it gives you access to critical information like traffic logs, security data, and even alerts. So imagine trying to find the question who, when, where, and how in your data. Secure Pilot will give you that information and give you a report that fits around what you need as well, right? So it will look at abnormal behavior. It will also look at traffic information and also build out and create alerts for you as well. So if you need it to alert you on abnormal behavior that it deems abnormal, so by basing on real-time information and historical information, it can also do elements of that. So whilst Nebula as a whole platform has a lot of information in there already to deal with the device, security-wise, we have this secure reporter, which is you click on it and it will just seamlessly go to the device. This will allow you to drill deep into the security data, as deep as you want to go, or basically let the Secure Pilot element generate the reports for you or get to the information you need without you trawling through lines and lines and lines of logs from each individual device. And you can do it at scale because it's got all of the gateways in there as well. So if you have multi-level attack from different sites, then you can also analyze that as well. So it's a really in-depth approach as well. And the tool has a lot of powerful elements to it. And Secure Pilot just, simplifies that threat and reporting analysis to a level where you can even generate weekly reports and also get out the information you need to protect you, basically to see what's going on in your network as well.
Yeah, maybe the main question we'll raise that what are these AI functions will bring me as an administrator of this organization? Yeah, I'm the reseller that's taking care of the infrastructure for my customer. And with all these AI elements, what does it bring me as an administrator, as a reseller? First of all, I think, it saves a lot of time. Yeah.
That's the number one thing, right? In the end, it's all about time.
Yeah. And time is money. Yeah, that's what we always say. So especially in these times, then if we can save time, that is a huge benefit. And therefore, we always trying to increase these kinds of elements to make the system more efficient and more ease of use. And every time to have some time saving in there.
So you want to take the key elements of this is, like Michelle mentioned, when you want to look at AI, in the end, the AI tools are there to speed up, create efficiency, and get to the answers fast. Nobody wants to troll through thousands of lines of logs. That's what the AI tools and machine learning are for. These are designed to get you the information you need to make a decision. Yes, there are some elements in the platform that can make decisions for you. You can program to do response, right? So this is there as well. But in reality is, we want to make sure the tools get you the answers quickly. And that is what we're trying to achieve. Whether it be Wi-Fi, whether it be the Wi-Fi aid part to understand where the device hasn't got the information, or whether it's just to try and, auto-correct this kind of stuff. The other thing that we also didn't mention too much about, because it's more of a technology that's built into the access point, is the smart antenna as well, where it's adaptive, it's learning the environment and delivering optimized radio patterns to each device away from interference. There are also other technologies in the products that work in conjunction with our Nebula platform as well to improve the efficiency. In the end, it's about delivering reliable connectivity. And that is what we're trying to do with the AI tools. So in the end, it's all about time saving, right? And I think everybody appreciates that that's there for their benefit as well. So I think that's a great takeaway from the AI tools. Thank you all for listening. I think that's... I think it's enough about AI, right?
I think there's a good insight now given to what we do with the technology in our platform. And please continue follow us on our podcast and listen to our next topic that we bring in the next podcast.
Thank you very much.